I know now that my wife has become host to a Kandarian demon. I fear that the only way to stop those possessed by the spirits of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment.
It's truly frightening.
This isn't a
Because you were home.
Oh man, I got this. Big one for me too, man. Yeah.
I know when you hear the name Psycho Killer, I don't know about you guys, but I think about that. I think it's the Talking Head song.
I think of Slayer.
I think if they should have had that song during the fucking movie.
Oh, that might have been a good thing.
What Talking Head song? Talking Head.
I think, or is it the Rex?
Psycho Killer. No.
Oh, GR knows. GR knows.
How you not have that?
Actually, I
We'll
do
talk
have a
about
quick
it.
question for y'all. Do I sound echoey?
No. I know I do, because I'd have to soundproof my room.
I can hear my voice twice after I say it. That's why I'm asking if.
I don't hear nothing.
All right, that sounds so weird. All right, so welcome to 3 Quarters of Horror Live. Normally we make sure to take care of this stuff. I think it's gonna be weird because I literally am hearing myself twice right now.
See, you got to take care of that before you come on, Joe.
I just literally just started. So, but welcome to the show. If this is your first time, I am Joe, the psychologist. Let me introduce you to my brothers, our co-host here. What's up, JR? How you doing tonight?
This is gonna be an interesting film. This is one that people were looking forward to. I did, like after I see a movie, I go through the social media to see how people respond, and this is one that's it's 50-50. People have their gripes about it, but we'll talk about it. But like I said before, got a great song, Psycho Killer. It's not even in the movie.
It can't be that great. I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's a great song,
It's a
actually.
great song.
I
Yeah.
bet you if I hear it, I'll be like, oh yeah. I know
Oh,
what
you
that
trust me,
is."
you will know the song. How you doing, my dear brother?
What up, son? I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. Happy to be here. I missed last week. That sucked. But I was here technically, but I couldn't hear anything. I had technical difficulties, so I had to sit on the sidelines. But not today. I'm here. What up, son?
Well, I figured out why I was hearing myself double. I accidentally
Adam.
had the YouTube channel open, which
Oh,
explains
I was
why.
gonna say that, but I didn't want to.
I wish you would have told me. I was like, I'm seriously gonna start going nuts, and if nobody is hearing this, there's some I'm gonna have to check out of here and get back in. But I finally figured it out. That was so.
What up, Adam? What's up, Adam? Mama Rose, how you doing, Mama Rose? Thank you for being here. Hello, fam.
But yeah, as Jared had mentioned, like this movie, I was one. I'm gonna say looking forward to it. I mean, name Psycho Killer. How can you not look forward to a horror movie that's finally gonna use that name?
We had this movie on our movies to look forward to, and
We
our
did.
2026 live
Yeah.
stream, man. All 3 of us were like, very excited for it. Come on, Georgina Campbell and the title alone, and plus look at the people behind it. The writer of Seven, believe it or not, did this
Yeah.
movie, but he wrote this.
So it was something, and it's been getting mixed reviews. I mean, and the thing is about mixed reviews, you might have, everybody has their own opinions on it. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think one might become a little common thing is sometimes we'll go, JR picked this movie, right? Well, lately, if we say, if Adam liked this movie, it gives somebody in the CJR just went, oh no.
It's how you never say it. It's how you never say it if Joe liked the movie.
No,
This
it's
was
not.
Joe's pick, right? Joe put this on here.
Well,
We
I
would have
put
put it regardless, though.
I would
so
have
it's-
regardless, but
Yeah,
it was. I mean, again, Georgina Campbell and the name of the movie Psycho Killer. How can we not cover a movie, with the title Psycho Killer? But Rick, actually, I'm gonna go to you first this time.
Oh,
get your
snap.
throw you off guard there.
Yeah. No, you didn't. Nah, I'm always ready, son. Nah. Yeah, absolutely. When I went to go see this movie, it sucks because going into it, you already hear like people complaining about the Rotten Tomato score and all that jazz. And yeah, I like to go in there open mind, not having any negative or positive reviews in my mind. So I want to go fresh. I want to see the movie for myself and judge it for myself, and not go in there with these expectations already. Like, oh, I'm gonna hate this. Oh, or JR's favorite. Oh, this movie's so hyped. There's no way it's gonna live up to the hype. So you're still disappointed. Uh, I think this movie. I think overall, I'll be honest, people shitted on it, and I don't think it's a terrible film. I don't think it's as I don't think it's as bad as people perceived it to be. I think what the problem is, this film, it came out in an era now where we're getting movies like Long Legs, Weapons, Bring Her Back. What's the one that just came out recently that we just talked about? I mean, there's so many new horror that's really fucking good, and then a movie like this comes along, you think it's gonna be in that same vein when you got look at the people behind it, like I said, the studios and the cast, and this movie it's not up to par quality wise compared to those films in my opinion, but I think it was still an entertaining film. I had fun with it. I mean, apart from the problem with this movie to me though is the logic. I mean, it's called Psycho Killer, and other than the scene when, I mean, we're gonna have spoilers here, everyone. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, obviously, this is gonna be a warning to you. But like when he kills a priest and he drinks his blood, I'm like, okay, now he's getting creepy. But other than that, we really didn't understand this guy's motive. I mean, we know he's a Satanist. Okay, been there, done that, right? But we don't know too much about this character at all. We never saw his face, which is good. I like that. But then at the same time, they gave us this over-the-top, borderline comedic voice. I just laughed every time he spoke, right? And it throws me off because, like, the scene in the beginning when Mike, the officer who pulls him over, goes to confront him about, he sees the stash of narcotics in the back seat, the drugs. And our killer talks to this cop, it's so over the top. Like, no one talks like that. So immediately I'm like, oh. And then the psycho killer could have got off easy if he would have just acted normal. But the way he responded, his dialogue and everything was all fucked up. And then the cop gets his partner, who's also his wife, comes along and asks, oh, do you need help? No, I'm good. Don't look at this weirdo you got parked here. Nah, man, you get some backup. You never know. And it's just, I don't know. That's the problem with this movie. Like, for the killer to me is not memorable. He's not gonna stick with you for a while because that voice was so comedic to me. Every time he talked, it just took me out of it. And for a psycho killer, as far as the type, he was very meticulous. He planned everything out. This guy was a smart guy. He didn't seem like a psycho to me. This seemed like a guy that just planned this he planned this from, like, how many years did he wait to do this? It had to be like a 28-year anniversary or something like that. So again, it's just, he was very smart. And then I don't mind him using firearms because he used it when he had to. But then they pumped up the grenades that he stole, and he really didn't. He could have just killed those two people. He didn't have to blow them up with the grenades. He didn't even blow them up. They weren't dead. They had shrapnel. But it's just it's so much. A lot of stuff didn't. The writing was the weakest part of this film, unfortunately to me. I think that's where the movie failed because the violence, as I wish it would have pushed the envelope more. Again, with the title Psycho Killer, I think we could have went like more the Terrifier route, which is going completely over the top with the kills. He killed a lot of people, but a lot of it was off screen, and just regular like. They went for more grounded realism, which is fine. Like when he kills all those fake Satanists, like I love that scene, by the way, because he was like, nah, I believe you, motherfucker. You're the real deal. I'll let you live. Get the fuck out though before I change my mind. Then he goes in there and he massacres all the fucking prostitutes. At Malcolm McDowell, what the fuck, bro? Wow, what was? I didn't know he was in this movie, bro. When he shows up, I'm like, Malcolm, like, this is his role. What the fuck? So I like that he didn't just go completely over the top killing them. It felt organic in a way. But again, yeah, I just think this movie came out amongst a crop of films. If this movie would have came out like in the 2000s, like early to mid 2000s, like around when Wrong Turn came out, for example, around that era, you know, the Hill Has Eyes remake. This movie would have been like one of those films where I would buy on DVD and love it and just watch it over and over just for some of the scenes, the kills. But overall, it's not up to par with today's quality, in my opinion. We'll talk more about it. I'll let you guys finish the rest. But I just think the writing, it was just like the logic is just the guy's voice was like too much for me, man. It's so comical. And it's a big motherfucker too, bro. And again, he was stealing all the medicine. Why? I didn't explain what he needed the painkillers for exactly. He's addicted to them. Then he gets mad when they're saying it's doing cocaine. Not mad, but he's like, looking down upon them like these fucking fake motherfuckers, right? But he's over here popping fucking perks. Like, I don't know. Well, okay, I don't want to drag this any longer. I'll leave it to you guys. But again, overall, my first initial thoughts, didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. I was entertained. I would say that. I was entertained.
So the script was written in 2007. It's funny because you were saying that the movie, so it does give,
it was in production hell for a long time. Yeah.
Yes, it definitely had been in production hell. And actually, before I go to your thoughts, JR, let's just take a moment to talk about the Malcolm McDowell part here. Just because I feel like all three of us should just take a moment because, let's look at the comments real quick, and we'll get to Malcolm, and then we'll talk.
We'll get to Malcolm because every time he pops up, I always get a smile on my face. But I'm like, what the fuck? This is his role, which was a funny role. I'm gonna lie. Adam says, I really like this movie, not the murders, but the drive of the wife. Wait, if Adam likes it what? He's right. I will say Georgina Campbell was really good in this. Yeah. I'm a fan of hers. I think she was really good. Oh, Joe, you don't think so, GR?
No.
All right, well, you'll say your piece. You mean the acting or her character?
Her character.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Horror Fiend TV. That's the fourth corner. I hate reading all that. Hey, Lexi. Hey, my devilishly handsomes. Miss you guys tons. Rough month. Can't wait to get back on the channel with y'all next month. Love from the fourth corner. Hope everything is good with you, Lexi. Yep. Thank you for popping in. And Adam says, it was often predictable, but I like being right sometimes. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so Mr. Pendleton. I mean, this movie, I thought at first, the same thing. I was 50-50. But then we get to Malcolm McDowell's character, and I first went, I recognize the voice on the radio. I'm like, but this is the role that we're doing here. And it was so weird, and I kind of felt, because it was so out of place, that just, the shock of seeing him doing coke, and then they're doing the mass, and instead of him giving them communion, he's giving them acid. Not that I know about this stuff, but
well, no, everyone knows what it
all right, so
like,
but yeah, so it was just like, for me, I don't know, like I wanted to take a moment because I can't tell if I feel this was just kind of put in here just because you love the scene of the murder, but like the Pendleton character was kind of a weird letdown, and it was just strange for Malcolm in this role, and kind of like where I don't know if it really brought much to the movie itself. JR, I'll go to you first because I know that Rick had brought him up.
The problem is his role was rushed. It was like put in there, and the whole scene just happened so fast. We never got any background about him. We knew he led basically a little cult, but seeing the ages of the people, you kind of knew it was basically him taking advantage of people. I mean, it was obvious. But I think it was so rushed that we lost what was the real reason of Rich. Was it Richard Reeves was his name?
Yeah, Reeves, yeah.
I mean, we lost what the hell was the real connection besides, I heard, you like say. So there was the script and the writing of this film was just, it was so fragmented across everything. And his character would have been interesting if you would have gotten a glimpse of him earlier in the movie to know that eventually Reeves is going to go visit him. So you kind of want some backstory. I mean, and we didn't get enough backstory of the Pendleton character that way. He came in, we're like, okay, we all know he's going to die. It's obviously Reeves know these guys are fake, except for Marvin. He was the only one helping him.
Hail Satan.
Yeah.
He didn't
it's the way he
take the
did
drugs
it all.
either. He was the only one.
But just,
the only
it's
one.
kind of the way he had done it. He was like, Hail Satan. And that's Logan Miller, I think is his name of the actor.
Yeah, I seen him before somewhere. I don't.
The Escape Room. He wasn't the first in both the Escape Room. He's done
Never
other
seen
stuff
him.
though.
That's
Sorry,
it.
JR, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's all I have.
And you're, I mean, you started because you started mentioning him too, Greg. Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
feel the same.
it. I I love the concept of like he was listening to him on the radio and stuff, and when he finally gets to meet him, I'm assuming that I read that right. He took them as frauds, right? And that's
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
just
Essentially, he was
they-
listening on the
yeah,
radio on the way there, so he believed
Yeah.
that this guy was, you know,
he
the
sees them all
real
the
thing.
bunch of hookers and drugs. Yeah, I don't know. I that part of the film when it got to there, it kind of like took me out. But once he killed everyone, I was like, okay, all right,
We're
get
back
him
in.
out. That's done. Now we can move on.
And that's how I felt about the whole like the Pendleton character and like just that sequence in there. All right, JR, what's your thoughts on the?
All right, so like I said, it was very fragmented. This is my issue. We've seen plenty of films, horror films, where someone kills, somebody's wife or husband, and they go on a revenge thing. There's plenty of films done with that. Where this one, I feel like it missed the boat. Is I had no interest in the Jane character because if you would have mentioned at the beginning when they pulled him over that she was pregnant, it would have carried more weight throughout the whole film. And even when it was brief, not even mentioned, it was just shown that she was looking at, how the, yeah, and then right next to a Satan book, which is like, all right, so this is how you're gonna.
I
mention
agree
it.
with you. I agree with that.
So
that was
we had no emotional interest in the character, and that's what bothered me about her characters. I could care less. I was more interested to know more about the psycho killer because there was so much ambiguity into him that we have this, the wife going after him. It's just a lot of stuff didn't make sense on her character part, and it's the writing. I mean, if you're a cop and you follow zero protocol, if you know the guy is there at the motel, you telling the guy call the cops, you would literally just wait. So I mean, I know it's a movie, you got to get her to go in there, but he could have killed her easily, and she got away. And then the second time, with Pendleton's house, so it's almost like it was like there was a lot of stuff that was happening with her character that didn't make sense to me. She didn't like get no kind of like you're interfering with FBI business. You could lose your job for that, and there was no repercussions for her actions. And then what bothered the shit out of me in this movie is the ending. Scenes are the cliffhanger. Like, all right, there's going to be a sequel, but they ruined it throughout the film because if you're actually listening the whole time, when they have the lady calling on the phone saying the FBI is the one that sets this up, so like, all right, all of a sudden the FBI are the one taking them back to Death Valley. So there was a lot of things in this film as far as his character too that didn't make sense to me. Like, really, a serial killer is gonna blow up 3 Mile Island? What the fuck? Because he wants to open the gate. That was so irrelevant in this film to me because what's the tie? Did something happen to his family during the 3 Mile? What happened originally with 3 Mile Island? So it felt like it was just thrown together into pieces. All right, this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna see how it pans out. But I was interested in his character. I wanted to know more of his character. For me, if I was to have done this film, I would have did it just like in A Violent Nature. I would have did it through him. Let's follow him through this journey because it'll be more interesting in the film. It's just the fact that, like I said, in the beginning of the film, she watches her husband get killed. That was, for me, that was weak. It could have been something more emotional. Talk about the pregnancy in the beginning. You could have actually started the film of them talking to each other on, through the radio, and basically, talking about how they're excited having a kid, and all of a sudden he pulls the guy over. Not for nothing, he never really got back to the car to check, the license plates either. So it was a lot of stuff that you're like, all right, just the other bit is just making sense of protocols and stuff.
What's funny, GR, real quick about that scene? The cop is right close by to the guy pulled over, and he's talking to his wife. Yeah, I'm gonna take him in for drugs or whatever. Like, I can hear him like, bro, no shit, he's gonna shoot you. He knows he's going to get pulled in.
And why even talk from across the street? Come on, you walk across the street. It's just a lot of the setups didn't make sense to me, and it kind of pissed me off in the film, because this film had a lot of potential,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
tremendous amount of potential, and I was invested in the killer. The talking, I agree. The deep voice thing, I'm like, dude. I mean, I love the way though when they did the lighting on him, where all you see was the glasses, the
Yeah,
shades.
yeah.
I love that lighting.
Mhm.
That's why I think if they
The
would have just
reflection.
if they would have did the film just from his perspective, let him go through. And that's another thing too, is like all of a sudden she's a sniper too. Like it's
Oh,
just
but maybe hold on, but maybe she is trained though. We don't know that.
She could have been military. She could have
Yeah,
been
and
ex-military.
you know, no, but you know
Because-
why she's good. But hold on, to a little bit of a fight, pushback here. When you could tell she's not like a regular, like ordinary victim, because the way she fought, like the way she grabbed the book and immediately went through his throat, and then she
Yeah.
immediately pushed it into his fucking Adam's
Yeah.
apple to choke
She's
him.
military.
You know
but
she
but
has
you're
some
assuming,
skill.
You're assuming she's. That's the thing, is you're assuming and that's the thing. If
No,
they
but
would,
you don't want them to spell everything out for you
No,
just
they
by her
don't.
actions.
Because-
You
but
don't
let-
have to walk
but
me
let's
through
say all of a
it. You know?
sudden, she goes to the FBI, talks to the guy, and they know each other from boot camp, or they know each other from the military. You could have little quick ties.
Nah,
to-
but
to
that's
tie those down.
but I
It's
I rather learn by actions sometimes. You know, like, you
Listen,
don't have to
it-
get
it-
everything
it-
spelled
here's the
out.
problem: if she was so military, she made so many mistakes that you wouldn't have made, because you would have been more disciplined. She would follow all protocol, because that's what military people do. They're disciplined.
Well, we don't know
Well-
she's military though.
No,
But that's what
the military. Yeah, but she
But
gave.
that's what I'm saying. It's like
Rambo didn't listen, so I mean.
Oh yeah, but I mean, he was beyond military. Come on. But this is the problem they have with a lot of characters. We want to make this RoboCop out of people, and that's, you got to give us more background. And the thing
Yeah,
is,
I agree with that. Yeah.
like I said, it's just I hate when we assume things in films, because it takes away from the film. Because, like I said, you're assuming she has all this training. If she had all that training, like I said, she would have did a better job of, waiting for him and setting up a trap. And the fact that, he put the mask on the window, she fell for it quick. And then she runs to her car. And then she gets, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff in this film did make sense to me. And I think it took so much away from the film. If they would have just had a straight path of, all right, here's a guy who's on this rampage. We don't know why he's on a rampage. Everybody assumed he was dead, because apparently, he was arrested, locked up. All of a sudden, he appears a couple years later, like, who the fuck released him? But then you have that thing about the FBI in the background. Oh, the FBI is, they set this up. The government set this up. Like, all right. And then you get the ending with the FBI. Hey, we missed you in Death Valley. What the fuck?
But hold on. Are we meant to, he's not the original guy from.
Yeah, yes.
He is.
Yeah.
That's the
Reeves?
problem.
Didn't he commit? Didn't they kill him? They said they killed him.
No.
In
That's the assumption, but you see,
That's
they
the
had the same
assumption.
scar. They had the same tattoo on their hand, and
Yeah.
she mentioned that, and they even said at the end, oh, he killed the first 13, and then all of a sudden he went on a rampage.
Yeah.
So
and
wait,
killed
how
another
old
49.
was he when he was? Because he's not an old dude. Did he have to wait?
He looked like he was a teenager.
Oh no. Okay.
He
You
looks
know
like
what?
he was a teenager. So
Yeah.
that massive
Oh.
plot holes.
Yeah, that's when GR. That's when I said that this movie is plagued by like logical misfires. This is what I mean. Like, there's so
Well,
much
and-
stuff.
I'm sorry. Before
No, go.
no, I didn't want to interrupt Jr.
No, go ahead. That's all
Well,
I have.
All right, so because all right, so as just to go finish off where Junior was at, with
Junior.
I'm sorry, where JR was at.
That's disrespectful.
Man, it's my little brother. I'll call him what I want. Anyways, now you're throwing me off. So I think the whole big twist at the end and premise, because as JR said, throughout the movie, you get, and I don't know if it's video clips from interviews or phone calls of people calling in, but there's this woman who has her conspiracy theory, and then brings again that the government is the one that is creating these killers, these serial killers. So the facility that he was being taken into, I took it that there's other killers there. They're probably experimenting on them, because when you see them in the first
Arkham
pictures,
Asylum, motherfucker.
Arkham Asylum.
Boy,
I mean,
man.
yeah, let's go that way. Actually, honestly, you can go that way.
Or
It's
the
like
raft. They don't.
yeah, they bring him there, which is why he was a little bit more jacked, because the guy that when they
That
was
dude
brought
fucking
out,
jacked.
the guy was tall though, with a smaller frame as far as body wise, and then when you see him, he's jacked, which gives some cadence to the caller saying that there's experiment going on, and he escaped. And he escaped, you know, that's kind of, I guess for me, he escaped and he had a plan. And so this is where the psycho killer part is where I have the issue. It's a big name for your movie. It's big shoes to automatically have to fill just using that as your title. And he was calculated. You know,
He wasn't a psycho to me. He wasn't.
he wasn't a psycho.
He was so
He
calculated.
had a plan. He was making his way to 3 Mile Island, you know, again to open up the gates, but we didn't
Open
have
the
a whole lot of
gates.
story about it. It could have been something that he heard in the cult that he was in. So and just wanted to finish off this mission and go there. And that's kind of where it was kind of all over the place. I just tried to enjoy the movie. I just, you know, it was kind of fun, but it's just a lot of the logic. Just, you know,
Yeah,
you have to
like I said. I'm sorry, go ahead.
halfway through, you gotta go to yourself. All right, so this movie doesn't have a whole lot of logic. I think he was trying to give it that Seven feel because obviously he was the writer. So in some parts, I felt like that Seven feel, but I felt that Seven feel from the 2000s, not the feel now. So and then with Georgina's character, like I don't know, she took a 2-week leave. All right, guys, she took a 2-week leave to track down this killer that the FBI had been working on for a while, and she was able to track it down. You know, which is the whole rush part. In between this 2-week leave, she also finds out she's pregnant. You know, it's a whole lot in
That's
there.
so cliche too. I wish they never just add that.
much.
Just
Yes,
don't put that in.
and
It didn't
the-
add anything to the movie.
no, and the movie had so much potential, and I too was bothered by his voice. And when he pulled up, and like granted, you didn't get a whole look at him. When the cop pulled up, I'm like, all right. If it would have been me, I'm like, yo, this dude looks like Kane. I'm not fucking with him. All right, listen,
back up.
just no speed. No, because he pulled him over because the guy stopped. You know what I mean?
I'm saying,
That-
but you call for backup at least.
Yeah, and that was amazing too. The cops like, why'd you pull over? Like, motherfucker, you're tailing
you
my
were
ass.
behind me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of the psycho killer saying, "Well, you're behind me," he's like, "I was
I'm
tired."
tired.
Come
I'm
on,
tired. I'm
bro.
gonna
The
pull
di-
off to the side of the
This
road.
dialogue, man.
Yeah, it just kind of sucks. Because I did see a couple. I didn't read the articles, but you see the you know the banners, and I'm like, dude, don't give into, you know. And Rick, when you and I finished on Sunday, you were like, you know, you've seen stuff. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but you know, we've seen stuff about movies, and then the movie actually turns out to be good because it's other perspective where people just love to hate it. On this one, it's a 50-50 on me because there was some parts that I enjoyed, but all the parts that I didn't enjoy kind of cancel each other out, you know. So it was I was like let down that it didn't live up to the psycho killer part.
Yeah.
But before we go to your score and your final thoughts, Rick,
Yep.
we'll hit the comments up.
P-Rock, yeah. What up,
Yo.
P-Rockzilla? What's good, brother? 14 Wellington. What up, 14? What's good, my brother? 14's the man, yo. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you being here. Hello, P-Rock and Ricky. What up, son? All right. Adam says that the government mass produces serial killer.
I mean, it's kind of what they're saying, so you think about it.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys are making me hate this even more.
But which is, like I said, the weird
No,
the ending.
no,
It's no, I
yeah.
know, but when
Hold
you
on.
get to the ending, that you realize that that the government is that the caller was right the whole time.
Good evening, my boys. Getting used to stopping by every Thursday to see you all. Love you all. Love you too, Frida.
Love you
I
too,
always
Ma.
appreciate you seeing you here. I love you. I agree with that. I don't like the way he was still alive. They showed him like, wait a minute, what the? Did they say he like? Oh my god, now we gotta go through this again. Now, mind you, if they do a sequel, it's not
They're
the end
not.
of the world because no sequel for this. You think?
From what I've kind of had read so far, there was no planned sequel. Like it.
And why would you add that into the film then? That's just
To
that
be because
kills-
no, but it's to give the voice that you've been hearing. It's to the voice, the whoever the caller was,
I don't think that's
the
worth
talker
that.
was right that the government created these people and he escaped from them and then went on his killing spree.
Yeah, okay. How's my boys doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good.
How are you? Yeah, dude, I agree. See, I like Georgina. I like her as an actress. I think what she was given, I think she did the best she could with it. Now what JR is saying, yeah, it's true. Like the fact that I like when she found out he was in that room, for example, in the hotel. Instead of just waiting for the backup, she just races in there by herself. You know, stuff like that. Like again, that's more in the writing than anything. But I do like what I do like about her though is that she was a character that was very smart. She put together all the pieces. The FBI were made to look horrible. They were so like lackadaisical, and she gave them all this information, and they did nothing with it. And they were always late. She was always by herself. The writing didn't help it, but I think she did the best that she could. And when I say like I enjoyed her, I think her performance was good for what she was given, man. But yeah, it's just the writing, JR. I agree. Like with the stuff you pointed out. Now I do like the fact that she was formidable. Like not everyone's gonna be meek. Like she knew how to handle herself, and the psycho killer was used to preying on like, you know, people on the road and like helpless people. And then when he saw she fall back and she knew what she was doing, he tossed her through the wind. Another thing too,
that was a great part though. I'm not. He was like, okay, I'm not gonna deal with you no.
Yeah. I like that because he threw her. He's like, I'm out of here. He goes to the back and he walks out all nonchalant. No one sees that. He just gets away so easily. Dude. I love how he took a nap first before he killed that chick, though. He took a nice little nap. Anyway, go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
No, you're still talking.
No, I'm good.
What's your score?
No, this is oh god. All right.
Yeah, we're
at the end game here. Oh man, we went through this quick. It's weird, man, because I enjoyed this movie a lot more, but talking to you guys, I'm noticing all the flaws though. I don't know. All right. I will say this, like this movie again, if this came out during the time of movies like during the 2000s where they came out straight to DVD, for example, it's entertaining enough because the character's over the top with his fucking voice. You know, and I enjoy him just going on killing random people for no fucking reason whatsoever. And of course the obligatory woman asking for help and then she gets run over by a fucking semi. Like, come on, and then the semi blows up at like, come on, how dumb could they make people in this fucking movie? I'm gonna give it a 3. A 3 is my score. I was entertained. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't great. It's not great. I wouldn't really recommend it either. But me, on a personal level, there's still enough. Even the bad could be funny. Like Michael McDowell's character was so bad, but it was so stupid. I was entertained. So I'll give it a 3.
3. All right. Let's go over the comment real quick before we go, JR.
Which one? Oh. 14. Was it a missed opportunity to not feature the Talking Head song "Psycho Killer" in this film, or is the tone all wrong for it? Wow, I guess I'm the odd man out. 14. These guys had brought that up earlier in the stream.
You never heard "Psycho Killer"?
No. I'm not a Talking Heads guy. I'm not. I mean, I know like a couple of their catalog, but. No, now I gotta go listen to that song.
Wait, I'm gonna put it
you
on,
know
man.
what though? Hold on a second. I think they could have found some place to fit that. Maybe they couldn't afford it in the budget. Who knows? But again, like this movie.
Wait, hold on.
Hold on, man. We're gonna get flagged for fucking copyright here.
Oh,
No, we won't. No, we won't. You're allowed a couple seconds to play.
All right.
Let's see. Sorry, it's commercial. Always commercial on YouTube. Oh, you guys.
Wait. Damn it. I'll go real quick.
What are you doing, bro? You gotta...
Yeah.
Oh,
what are you
quick.
doing, man? Holy
You don't know
shit.
it?
Dude, that's more than a couple seconds, bro. That's the video? That's new.
Remastered.
Yeah.
That's the remastered one.
I never heard it.
You've
heard
never.
it,
Oh my god.
At least it
Great
doesn't.
song.
It don't jump out at me.
No,
Right?
it was a
don't jump
massive
out.
missed
It don't jump
opportunity
out.
because if you played that song every time you kill somebody,
Kill. They
Hold
are.
on, hold on.
They are.
Now,
They
hold on.
fucking
Now
should
you,
have done
now you're
that.
onto something here because if they
Oh,
would have went,
JR.
if they gave him that silly voice,
Yeah.
they could have went over the top with everything
Fuck
else.
yeah,
Like, maybe it
Psycho
would have
Killer.
been.
That's when he goes on a spree, kills people. Fuck yeah.
That's and it's funny because when we left the theater, I
Yo,
go to Adam.
hold on.
Is this song stuck in your head on the
Let
way
me say
out?
something real quick. Hold on. JR, you would find this funny. On NXT, I watch NXT. They were promoting Psycho Killer, right? The movie on NXT. Joe is a wrestling show. WWE's developmental.
CW, right?
Yeah, it's on the CW. It's on TV. They were promoting it as the commentators are talking. Right, they're at a table. The crowd's behind them. They say, "All right, we're gonna go to this next match." And then all of a sudden they go, "Wait a minute, what the? What?" They look behind them, and the camera pans, and the Psycho Killer, full outfit, the mask, are just sitting there in the crowd. Like, oh my god, it's the Psycho Killer. You can catch him this weekend coming up. Get movie tickets available right now. And the guy, the actual actor, is sitting there in the crowd. I'm like, what the fuck
That
is
was a
this?
That's
WCW
awesome.
thing. That's when WCW brought RoboCop out.
Yeah, but RoboCop was different. He actually came out to help Sting. That's different. He got physical.
Oh my God, that did not.
Yeah,
Well,
that happened.
and the Smile 2 people, they put people in
Yeah, and baseball games. Yeah,
just sit
that's
there. I mean,
genius. That's
it's
genius.
to have the
marketing.
to
Hey,
have
and don't
them in
forget,
there.
and Chucky during one of those Chucky movies with Tiffany, he was also in WCW too. What a time it was to be alive during the '90s. Huh?
All right, JR.
No, but picture this one scene, right? I mean, I'm sorry. If you would do, you change a tire and some tall ass dude comes walking, you go, no. You get up and start running. Now, picture the Psycho Killer going on, and that song, run, and then all of a sudden, I mean, it would have made the movie a lot more entertaining.
You might as well play for a flock of seagulls. And I ran so.
I'm sorry. That scene had me laughing because I'm like, all right, this dude just basically just stayed there, knelt down, took the hit to the head. His girl runs. I've never seen a truck driver swerve. I mean, she's in the middle lane. You have two sides of the road you can still go on, and then just
First of all, she's the dumbass. She should have been on the side, not in the middle of the fucking road.
I give him credit though. He kept chasing right after her though.
You're right, Joe. The character was cool. Voice aside, they could have done more with that.
Yeah. Oh, they could have done a lot more. All right, so I'm gonna go into the restructuring of this film. See, now if they would have started the film, like I said, with the interaction between the two cops before he pulled over, bring up the fact that he's happy that they find out that she's pregnant. Now you're giving the audience the emotional investment in these two characters. His death would be more of an impact knowing that he was about to be a father and it was his first kid. So during her 2-week period where she's mourning him, you could have put there, because she would be looking at the picture of both of them, in the military. So now you got that whole thing, just a quick, like you said, Chekhov's gun. It's there. They were in the military together. Now you believe later on the training she had, because just put that they met in the military and then basically they became state troopers, and which is a lot of military people do. So if you would have did that and then tied the whole, like, follow him throughout his ordeal first, have her as a secondary character in the background because you're more invested in him. And I think what happened is because they didn't know how to do time management on both characters, they dropped the ball throughout the whole film. Because I don't think you needed the 3 Mile thing, because that was basically, they tied the 3 Mile, what happened there, to a satanic rock band that he was listening to. Which for me, a satanic rock band is not going to motivate you to do all these satanic killings. Now, to make it even, what I wanted from the film is, all right, if this guy is into the occult, give him some of those things where, a la Michael Myers, if he takes a beating, you're like, what the fuck, this guy keeps coming. Make us feel it. Because the first time I saw him, I was like, this dude's a fucking big ass dude. And make him
Joe.
Yeah, make him feel more unstoppable, because a lot of the kills he did, which I enjoyed some of the kills he did, it felt like people were just like, all right, just waiting to get killed, man. So it's just like, I mean, even when he killed, which was the best scene in the movie, when he killed, the fake cultist.
The best part, absolutely.
The dude actually ran to him to get hit with the axe, which is, it was like I'm sitting there like these are like
Not just that, Georgia. He was flip flopping like a wild bull in the countryside. He was completely naked running towards him.
Then the funniest part in that scene was
Yo.
when he about to kill the girl and she puts up the cross. He was like, "What the fuck?" He literally stopped. I wish he would have said, "What the fuck." So for me, it's like
Oh man, you're killing
I
me, bro.
was
You're killing me.
interested in the killer. I wanted to know more about the killer, but being the fact that they made us believe he was somebody else, then we find out he's Reeves. Now you got the plot hole of when he killed the 13 people in the church. What happened after that? We were led to believe that he was killed. That
Oh,
you know
that's
that,
crazy. I didn't get that at all. That's
and
not-
then all of a sudden, he goes on this spree where he kills 49 people. You really don't know why. And then when you find out he wants to blow up 3 Mile Island, you're like, that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, it lost me when that was basically the conclusion of the film. So yeah, for me, I think they could have did a lot better with the character, follow the character more. Definitely put Psycho Killer as every time he's gonna kill somebody. That was one of the things we liked it from, even though the director, is terrible. But one of the things we remember from Jeepers Creepers, every time we heard the song, people was about to die. So you could have that with the Psycho Killer character. And yeah, it just felt like the script wasn't the best. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't understand. One of the other knocks I have on the Jane character is if you're hunting a serial killer, why do you want to put your face? I mean, he knows you're coming after him, but then you go on the news media, you go on TV, and you start talking about it because now, not for nothing, in the real world, you actually went on TV admitting you're obstructing justice, even though the FBI is involved. You're meddling in their case, which not for nothing, now you're fucking with the government. So there would be more repercussions for your actions. So it's just like there was a lot of stuff that it's almost like when they wrote the script, they were like, you know what, people are not going to believe us anyway, so we'll suspend belief. I know you're supposed to suspend belief in horror, but watching this film, you have to suspend everything possible because it just none of it makes sense. None of it was so erratic. I agree with the part where he goes for confession and he stabs the priest in the neck. Why?
That
You
was.
didn't mention any of that earlier.
I
No.
thought it was gonna be like he needed the blood for a ritual or something. And I thought he was gonna drain it so he could use it for a ritual. But he just was he drinking it? What the?
Yeah, which did,
Mind you, if you would have did more weird shit like that, okay, that cause he's a psycho killer. But that was the only time he did anything psychotic.
Well, he was a satanic slasher. I mean, we keep calling him, but
That's
that
what they
was
call
his
him.
name, though.
Satanic
Satanic
Slasher.
slasher.
Ooh, how original.
know.
slasher. Just terrible. I mean,
Is that better than the grabber, GI?
I prefer to grab her over there.
Yes!
Slasher. I mean, why? Why? Just give him a different name. Just
The interstate killer.
And the last scene kind of pissed me off too. Because not for nothing, he knows she's up there. He knows that she's gonna do whatever possible to get to the window. You turn your back on her, so it's just like there's a lot of stuff. This guy he's too smart to do too many dumb things at the wrong time.
Yeah,
so-
like didn't he leave when he put the fake? Remember you mentioned the mask and she shot through the glass.
yeah. He
And
walked out the front door.
But he ran out and he crashed into her shadow or whatever, and she was laid out. He could have just stopped and went and finished her off, and he just kept going. Like
This is not for nothing, and I mean it would have been a different movie, but the scene where he shoots her husband and she's basically on the floor, like trying to keep him alive. I wanted him to come back and kill her too, because I thought that would have been a pretty fucking
Kill who?
crazy. If he shot the husband, right? So as soon as she's there, basically traumatized,
oh yeah.
he comes back and basically hits her with a car. That would have been
Movie over though.
no,
Then you wouldn't-
because
I know, because he would have
now
got.
you
I know what you're
focus
saying.
more on him. It's still focusing
know,
more
I
on
know.
him. I mean, out of the two characters, he's the one that we wanted to know more about because he had the most potential, and that's what pisses me off about this film. And this is why I'm going to give it a 2.5 because it had a tremendous amount of potential. You could have built the character to the point where you could actually say, okay, you know what, you guys struck out a little bit in the first one, build them up in the second one. But being the fact that the first mention of that the FBI is putting serial killers in this, on the streets is like 15 minutes into the movie. So you already kind of told us
Why is the FBI doing that again?
it's a
because
conspiracy theory.
yeah, because they got it. They're it's one of their experiments got away. So they got to be covering up. They got to do everything around and stop anybody else who is questioning and coming in. She was interrupting a case, but what she was about to discover was a cover up, basically.
Massive, conspiracy theory. Which, once again, you're throwing too much at us, and then you don't have like a cohesive script to do that. So it's just like I'm more pissed off because, like I said, it had a lot of potential, and I think it would have been an interesting killer. I mean, like I said, I like where they were going with him, but then they would take 15 steps back, 5 steps forward. 15. I mean, they didn't know what to do with him because they had to make sure that her character had time on the screen too. So it was a little bit too all over the place for me.
All right. So, like for me, again, I went in wanting more for it. It was very formulaic. Did I say that right? Because then I have sometimes.
Yep.
Right. All right. The movie was a wife's mission, and I wanted a wife's wrath. JR, when you had brought up when they were talking to each other, actually, what I would have liked in that moment is that when she had you would have seen she maybe at the beginning her getting ready for work, taking that pregnancy test, and then bump into him. She was on her way home, but maybe change it that she was on her way in and he was on his way home, and then she tells him, "I'm pregnant." So now you've got this happy moment with them, and because her intuitions kicked in, she turned around, and she quickly, by the way, said, wasn't the killer, didn't he have stole a car, and was it this type of car? So she knew some of this stuff already. If he would have had done something to her, then the movie would need to be stretched out in a couple of weeks to a couple of months to give her recovery time. So now, as I said, it was sped up into 2 weeks. I think that one of the problems with the movie, again, it was written in 2007. So many people had tried to do the movie. I think from what I had read, one of the first directors was going to be Fred Durst. And Eli Roth was actually, yes, but Eli Roth was going to work on it.
Yeah, I heard that.
Dude, Eli Roth would have probably done a bang up job, and then eventually here we are, 2007. So 19 years later, I think by the time it got to, and it was New Regency, by the time it got to them, he had to have made so many changes to his script. I probably would have, I think the script might have been a little different. I think he might have had a different idea, but having it so long in the pipeline, he might have done so many rewrites that this is why you got this hodgepodge of inconsistencies. I can't believe I said those words like that, but you have these inconsistencies in the story.
He fucked it up now.
No, I know it's all right. But no, I mean it's another. It sucks because it's a missed opportunity. I mean, and now if another person wants to come out with a movie Psycho Killer, I'm not sure if I'm going to be so keen on being excited about it or rush to it. However, I was entertained, like Rick said. There were some good parts to the movie, but it wasn't as everything else kind of outweighed it. So I'm gonna do a 2.5 on this one also. It just, damn, it sucks because again, we all when we went over all the movies that we'll be discussing this year, this was on there, and I feel like all of us did have some sort of excitement for it. And
I'll tell you this though. I'm sorry. You good? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I will say this: I prefer this over the Strangers. All 3 of those fucking movies.
Well, that's a really good point there.
So it's not the worst movie we see.
Before we sign off, though, I did want to ask you guys one question. Before we're out of here, does a movie title impact what you expect from a movie?
For me, I don't know. I wouldn't say no because I don't think so because does it bring expectations? Yes, it does bring expectations. But let's say if Psycho Killer was good, but those complaints were still there, where he wasn't really psychotic. He was very meticulous and well planned and tactical and strategic. But if the movie was great, I wouldn't be like, oh, but the fucking title, they fucked it. No, I wouldn't complain about that. But because the movie was so like mediocre and like a little bit less than average, it does bother me in that sense. Like I gave it a 3, but because it wasn't boring to me. I was never bored, put it that way. Especially that he would kill like within the first 40 minutes. It kind of slowed down when it got like to the cult part with the fake Satanists. But then that's when I was a little bored. But then the payoff was he killed them all. So okay, at least it was worth it. So I wasn't bored, but if the movie was really good, it wouldn't. If the title kind of flubs it a little bit, I could live with that.
All right. And here's the reason, because JR mentioned another movie while he was talking, which kind of made me also think about this. What about you, JR? Like, does the
See, this is the major problem with this film, though. All right, because when we watch movies that have to do with serial killers, you have two types of serial killers. You have the ones that don't wear masks, then you have the ones that do. Now, the ones that do usually have a unique look. He had a unique look. I liked his look. I liked the way I felt he was very intimidating. So when you get a title like Psycho Killer, and you have a guy that looks like that, that's the biggest hook you could possibly have as far as, having a character like that, because a lot of films don't want to get. Don't get me wrong. I wish that when they did the trailer, they showed nothing of what he looked like, because now you don't have the expectation going into the film when it's called Psycho Killer. But you gave us his look. His look was impressive. I was rooting to see. All right, show me what you could do. I really want to see what your character is, and the fact that you had a name like Psycho Killer, which I don't think, for me, the titles don't really hook me. It's I look at, especially like with movies like this, I look at the character itself. Or is this a character that I'm interested in? I want to invest my time in. And yeah, I mean, if the movie was great, and then title Psycho Killer, I don't. But like I said, when you have the look and you have the title like that, though, this is basically the kind of arguing to what I'm saying is the look and the title, and they looks like it fit perfectly. The expectations are going to be skyrocket, because now you're showing us a new type of horror character. That, because every time we have a movie like this, what's the first thing we want? Is this character going to be so good that they're going to have a sequel? Is this possible for a franchise? This is what things that the horror genre looks for sometimes. And unfortunately, when you have certain like franchises that go on too long, that's one thing. But when you have a potential for a new type of franchise, this is what us horror fans want to see. Fortunately, I think they missed the boat so much on this that if they was to do a sequel to this, it has to be a totally different character. You can't use the same character.
Whatever reminds me of, GR,
from Death Valley?
No, but it's like when I first saw House of a Thousand Corpses, I'll be honest, I wasn't like I enjoyed it, but it's kind of flawed, whatever. But then The Devil's Rejects came out. Like GR said, you mentioned got to be a completely different movie. That was a completely different movie, and it was so fucking good, way better than the original movie. So yeah, GR, you're right, GR. If they come in and they take it, they really put the writing as a priority, right? And especially give us more on the actual Psycho Killer character, then yeah, it could work. But it's gonna, because of this film, it's gonna be a lot of hard work for it.
The only thing I honestly thought about when I was watching this film was like, man, this would be actually a really good found footage documentary style film.
Yeah, it could have.
Well, and it's funny because you mentioned, shit, damn it, my brain just. What was the movie?
Before you get into it, let me get into this comment real quick here. 14 says his final verdict for someone like
asking
me.
The final verdict.
Huh?
He's because he started typing and I think accidentally his.
That's okay. Yep. He's a casual horror fan. Past watching it in theaters. Is it worth watching via streaming service at home? It depends.
I always say yes because it's only our opinions.
It's streaming, so you're not really losing anything but time, and it's not a long film. So
Wait for streaming when you know.
Well,
yeah.
but if you actually go watching the movies, nobody's gonna be there, so you'll have a
Yeah,
opinion
yeah, it's
yourself.
true.
That is true. We had it to ourselves.
I know.
Um,
Yeah. I had 2 other groups in there with me.
I had 2 people, and one person kept grumbling after every death. I'm like, what the fuck are you grumbling about?
But yeah,
We
check
had
it out.
nobody.
Some of the kills are fun. Like I said, the cult scene was fucking hilarious. At least to me, it was fucking funny as hell. Malcolm McDowell shows up, so and you know, not in the best possible way, but it's in a way where it's kind of bad that it's funny.
I got a question for you guys. I'm sorry.
I didn't
go
answer mine, but go ahead.
So, if Marvin would have turned around and says, "I want to help you," what would you have said in the film?
Wait,
Marvin,
Marvin, if you
the
would have
one-
said it to me, I mean
No,
to
if Marvin
Psycho
said it to the serial killer, look, I want
No.
to help you.
Nah, I don't want that. No, that's too
I thought it would have been comical.
No, and then right then now it's you were already going into the point where the movie
his
has
voice
some
was
comical.
enough comical.
Well, funny enough,
Go ahead,
because
Joe. Answer the question, Joe.
Well, no, because it's funny enough because I knew that if I know his last name is Miller, Logan Miller, was going to be in the movie, and we're like more than halfway through the movie, and he hadn't popped up yet, and I go, oh my god, please do not make Logan Miller be the killer because the guy is short and this guy looks tall. So, and then when he showed up, you know, to greet him and everything, I'm like, all right, there he is. Thank God it's not him. But JR, you had mentioned In a Violent Nature. With In a Violent Nature, you know, even with that one, I kind of felt as far as that's why I was saying with the title of a movie impacts. In a Violent Nature, I was expecting still, we reviewed that one. I was expecting more because of the name of your title. You know, instead we got a lot of more In a Walk with Nature. But then Rick actually brought up just now, which gives it the counterpart when it comes to a name. Then you have The Devil's Rejects. The characters lived up to the name of the movie. So, you know, when you see the name of a movie, you have that expectation going in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I wanted to ask you guys that, because again, it may be more fitting for this one because it's Psycho Killer. But as we were talking, because I was going to ask you this question, JR, when you mentioned In a Violent Nature, that's another one when I was thinking about this, that In a Violent Nature, you know, you're like, all right, so In a Violent Nature. So this is like going to be like, you know, brutal, guttural stuff. Yes, it was some great kills.
Oh, they had some good kills in that.
Great kills, but again, it was a walk in nature.
Yeah.
But Rick, when you had, because I was
Boring.
trying to in my head think of the counter to that. When you said Devil's Rejects, I'm like, it's almost as if what I was trying to pretty much say when it comes to the title of a movie and the product that you get from it. I kind of sometimes, if I'm some of the titles, I'm going to feel that you're going to have to live up to whatever it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And if you finally chose to go with Psycho Killer, I mean, because all the movies we watch are about psycho killers, but you're going with Psycho Killer, you have to live up to that name, you know. And that's like what I wanted to say on that. Before I throw it to Ricky to say send us home, next week is going to be Scream 7, and as the resident Scream fan, I'm gonna tell you all right now.
Hold on, brother. I like Scream too.
I know you do too, but you don't like it.
Bro.
You don't. Hold on. You don't like it the way I do. That
because you like the bad versions too. That's why.
Well, when I log off with you guys, as I got to get my room back together.
You're right.
If I put on DirecTV, my DirecTV app, and Scream is on, no matter 1, 2, 3, I'll put. And I message you sometimes. Scream's on. Like, you should see how many times I mentioned watch a Scream. I can rewatch those.
Likes the bad ones too.
After the last one, no, because I'm saying after the last one, I'm going in on this one. I'm gonna lower my like anticipation for it. If I go in rock bottom for this, then there's only the top, and then next week I don't have to eat crow if we all end up hating it. But yes, so we're doing Scream 7. You know, it came out today. I'm heading on Sunday to go see it. I don't know what day you guys are going, but it's a group of us are actually going to get together to see it, so it's going to be fun to see it with the group.
Joe goes mad early. JR's going to see like almost a week after you.
Well, I mean, hey, I don't want to get spoiled, and considering
I don't care.
when
I
they
can't watch a
announced,
movie that early and then review it like 7 days later. I won't be like, wait, what happened? In
I
that
kind of
movie?
like going on the day the day of the
I
review.
mean, what works for everyone. I like to take a little because again, I think the last one that reviewed The Strangers, when we reviewed it, I told you I read you my notes after I got home angry. And then I'm like, well, and then I realized I got to change. I like taking a couple days to process on that.
Yeah, of course.
But we're going to have Gilbert will be joining us next week. We haven't had him on the channel in a bit, so kind of looking forward to that. He is also a big screen fan. With that, Ricardo, Ricky Van.
Well, before we go, Joe, this is funny. It was killing me. Logan Miller. I knew that motherfucker from somewhere. The Walking Dead, Joe.
Oh yeah, he was in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's why I knew him.
Yeah.
From.
Yeah, he was in The Walking
God
Dead.
dang, I can't believe. Anyway, yeah. So join us next week. Scream 7. We're gonna have Gillian, Jr., Joe the psychologist. I'm Ricky. We'll see you in the next one. Stay good, stay healthy, but most of all, drink beer, water, ginger ale, whatever you gotta do. Stay warm, stay scared.